Welcome back to The Charismatic Voice. Today, I get to hear a new artist for the first time that you guys have been recommending a ton. This will be Unleash the Archers performing Awakening, which was the song that you guys requested the most as well. Now, I'm really excited to hear this band, and in particular, their lead vocalist, Brittney. You guys tell me that she is just awesome, so I'm really excited to hear her vocals. And also, I'm really excited to take a look at the song as a whole. It is the first song on an album that they released in 2017, and that album had a cool concept. It was a through line, kind of like a song cycle for classical terminology. It has a storyline that goes between all of the songs, and this one was the first one. So I'm keeping that in mind as I watch the song and the lyrics and get a sense of maybe where they were beginning. Let's get to it. Before she sings, I want to talk a little bit about why this instrumental intro is really, really cool. There is essentially a pedal tone next to a sustained note that this bass keeps hitting, and that's creating a lot of anticipation. And also, there's a synthesizer in there. It's a really cool synth sound. Sounds like it has like a little glass blown sound to it, maybe something they made in Logic, I don't know. Really cool synth. And it is doing almost like a reverse Jaws theme. So it's, instead of doing a chromatic up, it does a chromatic down, which again breeds a ton of anticipation. And then when it does start to go around in a scale, it's not a typical minor or major scale. It's kind of playing around with that tonality a little bit. Very, very cool to hear. And it breeds that anticipation and insurity. A very interesting intro. Hopefully she'll start singing in a bit. Ooh. Okay, heard the first few notes from her. She sounds like she's got a super powerful voice. Very excited to hear more. I also heard more than one voice there. I don't know if that was her layered or if she maybe had somebody else that was harmonizing with her. I am totally digging this like practically virtuosic instrumental ensemble that's happening. The band, I know, instrumental ensemble is a classical term. The band is awesome. They really are. I was looking at their fingers moving. I was like, man, that looks like some of the best violin players I've seen perform with a symphony. It's really pretty fantastic. Very, very quick and very accurate movements. And at the same time, you can tell that they're focused and in their zone. They're not freaking out about it. They're kind of relaxed and just have a good flow going. Also, the drums are awesome. Not a drummer, but I have huge respect for drummers because it's so many things to think about at one time. Voice is a lot to think about at one time. Drums are just, they're on a similar level, I think, with so much different coordination to really put together. So I know I'm going to enjoy those more as well. Let's keep going.
To look up into the night sky, to see the stars they are changed, to know 1,000 years or more have passed, and I am the same. This mountain hollow that keeps me in a suffocating embrace.
Oh, okay. Lots of really cool things happening in here. Her voice has really got a ton of drive behind it. I can tell that she has massive endurance because she's able to just like keep it going the whole time. She has really good breath control. You haven't heard like any massive long notes out of her yet, but I can tell from the way that she sings these phrases that she's used to sustaining it for a really long time. That's pretty awesome to hear. I also really love the way there were some great harmonizations that she does with herself. So I think the ones at the beginning were also her. Once I heard her start to get going, it sounded like she really split off and had multiple parts, not just like one or two, but a few that were in there. And I always love that kind of vocal layering. Very, very cool to hear. And I love hearing it too when it's the same person because there's the similarity of that voice creates like this extra beautiful vibe. It feels like there's like infinite voices all of a sudden, especially when it's the same one that's layered on top of itself. And then this other guy at the end, I don't know his name. I don't know the band's names yet. Okay, just I know Brittney so far. The other guy looked like he piped in there at the end with a growl. Was that like a metal growl or a metal scream? This kind of thing. No, I don't know how to metal scream yet. I've been working on it. I really have been trying it out in practice, just so you know. And I think I figured it out, but I'm not going to show you yet. Anyhow, let's keep going and hopefully we'll get to hear him do a metal scream later and a lot more of her. Ooh, I want to catch the transition again. By the way, the chorus is really catchy. It had a good melody. It was nice. Really like this chorus, but I'm going to stop it briefly to just talk about the words. I'm trying to catch a bunch of the words as they're going past. I heard things like my past begins, or she talked about a master awakening, I think at some point. It does sound like there's, in establishing this first song, they already established that there's a rich history that they're coming from, and it sounds like there's some sort of impetus to dive into a new beginning, which I think is a great way to start an album, right? It's always better if the hero of a story has this incredibly rich backstory that you eventually find out more about as it goes along. And I think it's fascinating too to have had that sort of more still beginning and then this sudden urgency that is brought in by tons of running instruments. They just keep going and going and going. I guess this is the definition of power metal, maybe? Correct me below. I'm still learning all of the different metal genres. So this continuous running of instruments, it brings so much energy and intensity, and it is urgent. I think this is a really cool way to have built that anticipation, have this urgency now, and then this backstory that they're establishing with the lyrics. It sounds like a really cool beginning to an awesome album. Let's catch that transition again. but whoa! His voice, that actually kind of reminded me a little bit of Ginger, where it feels like a scary monster. No offense meant. I really appreciate all of these different kinds of sounds that people can make to bring different kinds of expression. It feels dark and scary, which is totally awesome. I think that that is probably what he's going for and achieving it with flair. It was so funny. The first time he had his little growl, it made me jump. It was kind of scary. I really felt like I was playing a video game and had a monster jump out at me for a moment. I think it's so fascinating to hear that sound also sustained, because that really means that he's using his false vocal cords, and that's awesome. I appreciate it when people use their false vocal folds to create a scream, because that sound is vocally much more healthy than other ways of creating screams. Super awesome. Okay, we'll catch a transition again in just a moment. But one of the things that I'm starting to see about this band that I really like is that they treat their instrumentalists like major soloists as well. This is something I dig. I completely dig, because often amazing musicians are put in the background just so you can focus on the vocalist. Yes, I love the vocals, and I am a vocalist through and through, and I train vocalists, and I love that. But we need to respect and give credit to the amazing musicians that are also making music. So this is really cool to see, really, this verismo. It's just it's so technically good and profound and difficult, the things that they're doing. I love seeing focus drawn to the band. So good job, band members. Thank you for being so proud of each other. Let's catch a transition and keep going. Okay. I'm really digging the sort of like different layers of energy that they have going on in this song. I loved at the end, it felt like, again, it felt like that headbanging moment where there's a lot more rhythm and you could just drop into it. And it was cool to see them all headbang at the same time. And I also really, really love the way that her vocals are produced. Again, I like the layers on it, even when she's singing just herself, you could hear that they'd put her voice, they'd done like a double layer of just her single line to give it a little more depth. It was really fascinating, and I think it helped. She naturally has a ton of cut, and definitely you can just hear so much endurance and power coming through her vocal. This song is such an awesome intro to an album, and the thing I loved the most about it was that each musician had their own moment in the spotlight. It was great to get to know them a little bit before diving into what I presume is an epic album. Now, Brittney, I like her tone and style a ton, and I'm very interested to hear what else she can do. That seemed like just the tip of the iceberg. You can tell that she has got a ton of power and endurance and ability to do other things. There was one little thing that did catch my vocal technique radar, and that was sometimes when she was using vibrato, her jaw was jiggling with it, essentially. That usually indicates a little overtension in the jaw, but I would definitely like to hear her more before I made a more formal assessment. And the other guy with his crazy metal scream growl, whew, that was fun and exciting and totally unexpected. So thank you so much for this recommendation. Please keep those recommendations coming below. You know that I listen, and you know that I make videos for the ones that are most recommended. Also, please come and join me on Mondays and Fridays at 8 a.m. Arizona time. I have premieres of videos, and there's a live chat where you can say hello. And if you want to learn more about what's going on inside of here, I just launched an online course called Demystifying Singing. You can check it out on my website. I hope to see you soon.